And we're here with Slake Counts, who is doing Becoming Burroughs in our first ever Fall Fest. So this is great.
Slake is
Hi,
great.
Slake.
Slake, hi, how are you, honey bunny? For people who are viewing, Slake is
Hi, good afternoon. It's
yeah,
Slake and Blake. Slake and Blake.
Yeah.
I think we should name all the actors with an ache to it. So there should be Katie is now a cake, and
And
Kuniko
Kuniko is
is
also
a
a
kunake.
cake.
Oh, okay, great.
She's a kunake. I think that's the only
So
way we
you're
can say it.
so you're an ache.
Yeah, and I'm
Are
a
you
nake.
an ache?
A nake. I'm a
Ana-
nake.
or Anake, as
Or
they.
a
Okay.
nake. Yeah.
I'm
So
a Balake, you're a Salake.
So Slake is a stage and film actor. He's a writer, he's a poet, he's an artist. And to quote him, he began to allow the likes of William Burroughs and Kerouac and Ginsberg and Hunter Thompson and other questionable suspects throw him around in his gray matter. But what I find interesting is Slake has been studying anthropology in college, and he actually has an MA in applied medical anthropology. So my question is, how did you get there into stage and film acting?
I actually started acting as a child, as many of us do, and loved it. Kind of got diverted as I began to study. Started marine biology in Wilmington, North Carolina, then went to archaeology and then physical anthropology in Charlotte, North Carolina, and came down to Tampa because of an out of state tuition waiver Atlanta was not able to give me. Um, those were two schools in the South that offered applied medical anthropology degrees.
What is
So
that?
it's really kind of studying the health of a people,
Oh,
Oh,
of a culture. My interest is in maternal and child health and racial disparities,
oh,
particularly as it relates to maternal mortality and morbidity and infant mortality and morbidity.
oh,
So applied medical anthropology really kind of led me to the concept of dual diagnosis and the lack of treatment for folks who are mentally ill and substance abusing, and then kind of got into the whole maternal and child health route through my master's degree.
um,
but how did you get to theater and film?
Really, I had put it on hold. Coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, I was involved in really theater and a couple of movies, and then moved down to Tampa, shelved everything for my master's degree, which took a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but we got there. And really at the Children's Board, where I worked for 29 years, that was the point with the Children's Service Councils, was um, kind of began working in film and TV and theater again.
Yeah.
and that makes it.
I don't know if that
That
answers
can,
the question about
well,
film and TV, but
it
that's kind of
Yeah.
well,
and theater.
it shows an interest in societal, in social sciences, and in all the things that come to being interested in people,
Mhm.
and therefore personalities. Anna approached me about this. Anna Brennan is your collaborator and the director of this piece now.
Yes.
She approached me with you and just said, Slake has this piece, and Burroughs is this wacky, weird character, but we both sort of come to love him in a certain way, come to really be interested in what he's doing. Tell us how that came about, and especially with your relationship with Anna, but why Burroughs? What drew you to that?
I have a sneaky suspicion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burroughs studied anthropology at Harvard and Columbia, um, which led him into many, many excursions in some of his writings about Native Americans or South American Indians. The Yage letters was certainly on his trip in South America looking for a drug, another drug. I was invited by Anna some time ago. She was working on a play called Scorched Angels, and she was looking for a lot of quotes from different people.
Mhm.
I think I came up with some things from Burroughs and Jim Morrison, who was another favorite of mine. Um, Folks like Patti Smith,
Sure.
like Laurie Anderson,
Right.
folks like that. And this was like several years ago, and she filled that piece of work with actors and has done it a number of times now. She We went out to dinner one night. She said, "You know, we collected a lot of these quotes for Scorched Angels." She said, "Is there anybody that you've ever been interested in working with me on developing a character?" And I think I almost immediately said, "Well, Bill Burroughs." He was born on the, I guess, at the end of World War I in 1914, and had lived a very rich life until 1997, and became almost a guru. I always think of the old man on the mountain that you go to seek for advice. But in William S. Burroughs' case, it was people like David Bowie and Mick Jagger and Robert Plant and Jimmy Page and Lou Reed and Laurie Anderson, Patti Smith, Kurt Cobain came to visit him in Lawrence, Kansas a couple of weeks before he committed suicide. Um, there's these contacts that Burroughs has made over time with artists and writers and performers that grow out of his learning about anthropology, that grew into his fascination with magic and the occult,
Right.
and what cutting words or pictures or an art, like he learned from Brian Geisen, how he learned rearranging those images or those words can sometimes produce new words
Yeah.
or new meaning, or can perhaps inform you about the future if you want to go that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really kind of that was kind of how it grew, of putting together these quotes,
Yes.
and then me filling in the quotes with stories about his family or his life or his experiences or his drug use
Mhm.
or his killing his wife.
Yeah, that was a fun story.
So it seems that this is the way you began, with the quotes and knowing about his relationships, and then um, filling in pieces of his life. A question I had was, how did you come to the concept of the play, and how you finally expressed all these things about him?
Make it theatrical, yeah. Mhm.
What did
I know I've always known this. I've worked with Anna in a number of plays over the years. She's a wonderful teacher. She's a wonderful coach, and she's a wonderful director.
Yeah.
So I knew that she would help me transform, if you were, what I had put together on paper
Yeah.
and into a living, breathing person. If not Burroughs, then as close to him as I have ever probably been able to come. I never met the man. Would have loved to, but never met the man. But I hope I'm I hope I'm doing him justice. If he's looking down, if he's really into magic and the occult, he might be kind of having a little grin Burroughs grin, as I call it.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a biographical character, somebody who was alive or is alive now?
Um, when I did quite a bit of work at Guerrilla Theater,
Yes.
I the owner and director and writer of many of those scripts, as you know, Blake,
Yeah.
was very interested in history. He was very interested in George Bernard Shaw. He was very interested in um, anybody that Shaw met or came into contact with. He was very interested in the dates. Oh my God, the dates. And I remember him one time, we were about to go on with, I think this was probably Edison and Tesla
Yes.
play that he wrote. Um, and I played one of actually, there were several that came along that time, but I remember him passing Joanna Sitch um, 2 pages, front and back. We were going on that night, front and back, that he had rewritten or added. That was really this whole tangential loop through dates and um, people, and really, I mean, did it really offer anything to this play? But there was Joanna, poor thing, like just trying to cram these words into her brain. So anyway, characters like that at Gorilla were were cool because no one had ever been them before, and I could be them. I could kind of create them the way that I saw them
Yes.
being created. But they were real people. Those would be the most equivalent to
Yeah.
portraying someone like Burroughs.
Right.
Right.
But it seems to me, since this is so personal, because you and Anna have created it, and that there is another layer to that knowing of that character. I got a great chance to do that with at least one play, and Annie has had a chance to
Yeah.
play actual people, and
To get into there, get
you
into them. It's really
described
amazing.
this
Yeah.
the same way that I was feeling. That well, when I played Betty Davis, I felt like I hope I'm doing her justice, but I also knew that she was watching and she was actually channeling a couple times. She would during my hour and a half makeup
We
session.
love Betty.
We love Betty. Um, but I felt her, and it was that same what you just said about Burroughs. There's something I think very very uncanny and special about creating a biographical character that you get to embody, and especially if you understand it is my impression. It's my, and I mean impression in almost an impressionistic painting way, in that it is your sense that you're not crazy, you are not him, you are channeling him, you are bringing him through you, but you together get to experience something. And it's such a weird ass thing
Yeah.
that
Not everybody gets
not
that.
everybody
Not
gets
everybody
to
understands that,
do
yeah.
that. But I think that actually, just in watching you a little bit, I get that from a second with you, embodying him. There is a it's a welcome thing. It's you welcoming into you. So
Right.
that's
And,
that's
and
fascinating.
here's a question. Now, because normally, if we weren't having COVID, we'd be doing this live with an audience.
Yeah.
And we just can't safely do that,
Yeah.
which is why we're choosing to do this virtually. So this is going to be really your debut of this, but you're not going to have that full, wonderful audience. You're going to have maybe a few scattering of us people there, and doing it in front of a camera. How does that make you feel? I mean, Do you feel, yeah, talk to me about that.
It's different. I mean, you guys have worked in film before, so you know that it's just so different.
Yeah.
The people that are there are your friends and coworkers and the really the staff and crew,
Right.
which is so different from the feel that you get
Mhm.
from walking on stage and
Right.
just even before you walk on stage and you hear the people out there talking and getting excited, and that gets you excited.
Right.
So it's just different. Not that one or the other is better or worse than the other.
Okay.
It's just different. So it will be interesting because in having talked to you guys when we zoomed before about him and really where I was going with him, um, it's going to be so dynamic because the way that we've rehearsed this plays, I think, into the arms that you are creating for me
Yeah.
in a theater type setting.
Right. Right.
So while, and I've seen, I'm wearing my Fringe Festival T-shirt. So they also had to do Zoom for this year for the Tampa International Fringe Festival, and I think that for the most part, some of them it worked very well.
Yeah.
It was also done in kind of this theater type setting where you've got a very sparse set, but yet you're playing to what theoretically can be your audience.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
nobody really out there, but
Yes.
they're there. So this works for me because I mean Burroughs is moving backwards and forwards through time. So there are people there. There are going to be people there watching him, you know? So hopefully I can suck up that energy and as well as whoever else is there. So
But you bring up a
it's been really hard to put the
you bring up a really interesting thing because we've always said that especially in solo theater, the audience is the other character.
Mhm.
As I'm rehearsing, I'm aware that there are two cameras because just to be clear to our audiences and not saying nothing about Tampa Fringe or any of the other festivals that
Yeah.
have streamed their pieces. We wanted to make sure that we did a really nice filming of all four pieces ahead of time. So we're going to be doing that, folks.
Right.
Um,
As if you
ahead
were,
of time.
as if you were doing a play, not
And
not
right.
done like a film.
And
as a
so
play.
Sure, yeah.
watching
Right.
is virtually each of us anyway, but in a really, really nice setting and a very nice streaming session too. It's really going to be interesting to see, first of all, how you
Navigate that.
how you navigate.
Yeah.
I can't wait for all of our filmings of these because we're doing them over 2 days, and
Yes.
we do get to be your audience for this,
Yeah.
as will Anna. It's
It's
the
a-
full
yeah.
full performance as if people are watching it,
Exactly.
and so
And the audience will get a chance to see it 3 times during Thanksgiving weekend, which will
Yeah.
be kind of fun when people are
Right,
home.
yeah.
and then
And mixed with it, it's like you'll have an evening where you're sharing the bill with Blake's show, and then another one with Katie's show, and then another one with Kaniko's show. So that's a fun thing too. People get a chance to see not only see you, but then see another performer.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
cool.
so that's really
Right.
exciting.
And I think it will convert so well in the way that you're doing this.
Mhm.
I think it will convert so well to when any of us do take it to a theater when they
Yes.
open it
Oh,
back
I
up.
think
You
so.
know?
Yes.
But the beauty of a solo play that you have
That's right.
ownership of, it will continue to always evolve.
Tweaking is
Sure.
And
Sure.
I think that what would be very cool is after this whole COVID thing is over with, and we are trying to find, I don't want to say normality again because we will always be different from this experience, to have all of you come back again with a live audience so the live audience gets to experience how this has evolved.
Yep, I think so.
Wow. Yeah, because it certainly would gather probably a very different audience.
Right.
Um, I'm sure that um, the four of us probably will hopefully have folks tuning in from different places in the country.
I
This
finally
is
have
Kind
friends
of cool.
in
yeah,
Europe that now has the
That
opportunity
would,
to see you do your
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, it's
yeah.
so
that would
cool.
be cool.
There's an incredible loyalty to us here in Sarasota, but it's always limited to people who can physically get to the theater.
Sure, sure.
And I love the fact that now we have this opportunity to
Right,
go beyond the
right,
confines of Sarasota,
right, right,
even
Oh,
way up to St. Pete,
yes.
Tampa.
right.
You know.
You can't get over the bridge? We'll bring you to it.
We'll bring the bridge to you. How about that?
Bridging it
You know,
all together,
I've
right?
got, I've got folks in New Orleans and
Yes.
Yeah.
North Carolina, South Carolina that are saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see this."
Yes.
See? How
Yeah.
fun is
You
that?
know,
Yeah.
so what I can do is just keep promoting and adding the SaraSolo.org website because they can keep up with all the information there. That's wonderful.
Right,
What I wanted to say is that this has been the hardest thing to put my pen down on,
right,
um, and to stop writing and
right.
to stop adding more people and more experiences. But what's come out of it is that really I I kind of see this thing evolving
Yes.
and maybe didn't quite get the quote when I first wrote it down and captured it.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
And it's like, I can see from early in 1929 to almost right there on the brink of his death in
Yeah.
97 by
Absolutely.
some of the things that he's saying.
Right.
And like, it's like that's really kind of interesting to be able to paint a life of
Right.
somebody
This
and really kind of hope
right.
that maybe there's some little nugget in there that's gonna maybe cause people to maybe go somewhere and learn a little bit more about him or read something by him
Unfair
or
question
look at
to
some of
ask
his
you.
art.
Well, let me make
Okay.
one
All right.
comment about what you
Okay.
just said because this means you're doing a breathing, alive play.
Mhm.
This is the very exciting thing about solo work, and Annie's gonna. She has a really big question for you, but I just want to tell you, from as playwright performer to playwright performer, you must at some point tell the author to leave the room
Bye, author.
and Anna can be a big part of
Yes.
this. That he can no longer write anything else.
The
That he
actor
may have some
actor has to take
great
over now.
ideas,
Yeah.
but those ideas can't be brewing while you are trying to learn this piece
Mhm.
and actually even
Oh
perform
yeah.
the piece.
Right now, at this moment, what phrase did William Burroughs that you think is right at this moment with you is an important phrase for us to hear today? And next week it
Wow.
might be different.
Um, I think one I kind of alluded to a moment ago, but one when he's talking about the Nova conventions, which started in the mid 70s, he says, the Lower East Side denizens already knew me as the Pope of Dope, but most of the attendees, even those who never read a word I had written, knew me by reputation.
Yeah.
That ashen old junkie who shot his wife and wrote Naked Lunch.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Well, we're gonna end with that because we've got you're gonna have an amazingly fun audience. You're not only you're gonna have Sarasota audiences, but you got other people coming. So this is gonna be a very fun ride for you, even though you may not see them physically. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Sure. I've enjoyed the ride very much so far.
Mhm.
Uh,
And just so our audiences know that when we're going to be filming them, and you will be able to buy your ticket to see the show and another show with your ticket. But then there's going to be a live event around it. We will be live talking before into it, and then have
Oh, cool.
Slake come in, and we can have a conversation. On top of this beautiful piece, there will also be the event around
we
it.
could have a talk back.
All right.
Um,
Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah.
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 and and
So
A
don't
living,
don't eat too much pumpkin pie that
it's a
week.
living, breathing, streaming event. I love that.
Exactly.
yeah,
All right. All
That's-
right. So
yeah.
when do tickets go on sale?
November 1st, right?
November.
Yep, your site said the first, so everybody's looking out for that date.
That's right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, and people actually, if you're seeing this, you're seeing it over a couple different things. But if you are seeing it on Facebook, I want you to go to our website and sign up to be on the
Mailing
our
list.
mailing list, because
Oh, sure will.
that's
Yes.
way for people to know
Yeah.
things.
It's so easy.
We're going to be
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of social media this time, because that's a lot of where our other patronage will come from.
Right.
So,
And you want to learn more about this wonderful man, we will have it'll all be
Yeah.
there.
great.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Peace, you guys.
All right.
Good. See you, honey bunny.